Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So as you can see, I'm here on my lonesome. Hannah is in Nashville, very, very pregnant. I am anxiously awaiting. I cannot wait to get my hands on my nephew. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be an aunt in August and I just can't wait. But Hannah is done traveling. She is at home resting with her feet up. So I thought I'd go ahead and take advantage of this moment and go ahead and put up a little video, kind of something that has been talked about a lot on my social media. I would say over the last 6 to 8 months, I've had more questions about postpartum or post-pregnancy weight loss, more than probably anything. And I really wanted to come on here and just kind of talk about it because I don't think a lot of people really talk about weight gain or weight loss really in pregnancy and postpartum that often because it's kind of a taboo subject. I don't want to get into the whole pregnancy weight gain because Hannah and I are going to do a video together about that, kind of our feelings and things. But to fast forward, last year in August, so I'm almost at my 1 year mark and Harper is almost 1 year old. I had Harper Ellis Ward, my son, who was 8 pounds, 6 ounces. I gained 47 pounds in my pregnancy, and I had gained those 47 pounds, I would say 85% eating extremely clean, exercising 6 days a week, for at least 60 minutes, sometimes even longer. And my body that's what my body needed to do to support this pregnancy. And I always tell people, you know, it's one thing if you're just like eating pickles and ice cream and whatever. And if you need to do that, you do that. But it's another thing if you are making, you know, really good choices like I did, and I still gained all that weight. I can remember being in the bathroom about 24 hours after he was born. I think I was taking a shower and I remember like I was standing in front of the mirror and I caught my reflection just kind of peripherally. And I remember I turned and looked and I remember looking at my body and not even recognizing myself and having a moment, I think in that kind of postpartum haze that you have those first couple of days. And just for one small moment, I just thought, oh my gosh, what has happened to my body? Like my body is never going to recover from this. And then in the second after that, I was like, I got to go see my baby, you know? So it's like, I had those moments kind of initially, but they were few and far between because I had this beautiful baby to put all of my attention in, which is what you want to do obviously right after you have a baby. But I'm not going to lie to you. I had moments where I was looking at my stomach and I was looking at my body now that this baby wasn't inside of me anymore. And, you know, thinking, how is my body going to all kind of piece itself back together? So after, you know, Harper and Ben and I got home, you know, we really took the first couple of weeks, or I should say I took the first like 3-4 weeks and just enjoyed being a mother, which is what any woman should do that has a baby. Or, you know, like I didn't so much, you know, just go willy-nilly and eat whatever. I continued to really try to start to really feed my body the things I knew it would do best with to heal. But at the same time, I wasn't counting calories. I wasn't writing anything down. There wasn't anything like that going on. And I started to feel better and stronger because, again, I had a C-section, some major surgery. You know, you have to really kind of give yourself some credit, especially, you know, whether you have vaginal birth or a C-section, that these are major traumatic things that have just happened to your body. It's not like you just randomly gained a bunch of weight and then you're just trying to start from zero to lose weight. This is a very different kind of animal that you're dealing with. So I would say about week 4, I started really feeling well enough to just get out and start walking. And my doctor was very, very strict with me. He was like, you are not going to be allowed, you know, to run or to do any of this heavy exercise. You have to wait the full 6 weeks, even though I'm not going to lie to you. I felt really, really well at about week 3 and 4. Like I really felt like I could have done a little higher intensity, but I really, really tried to keep it low and slow and start walking. Now, in that moment, I really wasn't walking thinking, oh, I'm going to do this to lose weight. I was just trying to start to reconnect with my body in some way. And that's like my first tip that I want to give you guys. If you're pregnant or you're thinking about getting pregnant or you've had a baby, whether you had a baby 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago, 5 years ago, just remember that when you have a baby and when you're pregnant, I feel like there is a disconnect that you have with your body because your body becomes a vessel for someone else. It's almost like the baby like hijacks your body in the best way ever. But I want, just remind yourself that it takes time to kind of rebuild that friendship between you and your body. And someone I think actually put in one of the comments of one of my photos shortly after he was born that she said, remember to give yourself a break and become friends again with your body. And I remember that really, really stuck with me because I thought, what a beautiful idea that I want to reconnect with my body. So that's my tip number one, is just remember that you've had this baby, you're gonna feel very disconnected. So start to do things low and slow, things that aren't so targeted on weight loss, but more about moving again and starting to feel your body and give your body the things that it needs. So that's my first tip. I would say to be honest, I didn't start really counting calories and really starting to work on trying to lose the weight until I was about 3 months in. I went back to teaching spin at SoulCycle at 9 weeks. I started spinning full on about week 5, week 6. That's just what felt right in my body, and my doctor had released me. But you also have to remember, spinning for me was something that my body was so used to that it was something I was doing all the time. So it wasn't like, I taught and rode my very last spin class 6 days before Harbert was born. So I did that through my whole pregnancy. So it was something my body was able to like pick up pretty quickly. But I wasn't starting any kind of new exercises at that point. I was still walking. I was teaching again, riding my bike. But I wasn't, like I said, for those 3 months, I wasn't really counting calories. I was just trying to really eat healthy things that made my body feel good. About 3 months in was when I starting to kind of take a look and take stock of what weight I had left to lose. So I gained 47, like I said. I lost about around 22, 25 pretty quickly, like within the first, I would say 3 or 4 weeks, that weight was gone. So a lot of that was probably just like water weight and, weight of the baby and all of that. So, but I still had a pretty good amount of weight to lose. And again, I think my second tip for you is this. When I was looking at the rest of that weight, I in no way was going to give myself a time frame. My goal was that by the time he was a year, I wanted to at least got back to my pre-pregnancy weight. Because I feel like, if you're building this human being for 10 months of your life, you need at least that much time to kind of start to recuperate and to kind of rebuild your body. So that's kind of like my second tip, is I wouldn't give yourself a time frame. Now, would I just say, oh, it doesn't matter if it takes me 5 years? No, you want to do something. If you're really going to get in there and really try to get it done, you want to get it done, but at the same time, try to take the time aspect, the pressure off of yourself. Because again, everything is so new. You've got hormones, all these different things going in your body all at one time. And I don't think it was probably until 6 months in after he was born when all of a sudden my body started really responding. And I wasn't doing anything different. I was still really counting my calories. I was exercising 6 days a week. I was, working really hard, but it takes that much time. A lot of people say for your mind to kind of go, oh, okay, we're starting to do this again. We're not doing baby or pregnancy anymore. And it starts to everything just kind of starts to settle down a little bit. I will say, starting the exercise, even if it's very, very low, like just walking, I didn't suffer from any postpartum depression. Maybe that's hereditary. Maybe that's just me. Maybe who knows why. Some people just have postpartum depression and some people don't. It's just an imbalance in the body. But I will say I do think a big portion that helped in that time period for me was really moving. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about going out and running a marathon, just getting out for 15, 20 minutes, letting some other family member or a friend or your husband or your partner hold the baby while you get out there and move your body. And I think just the adding of those endorphins into the mix also really helped. So that's a little tip I have, especially, that you're not just exercising just for the weight loss, but also to really kind of help with mood and energy. I always, on days that I would go and, work out, even if it was just, like a 20-minute walk, I couldn't believe how much better that I felt just endorphin wise. Okay, so moving on. Now, one of the biggest questions I always get is about how many calories were you eating? Now, like I said, for the first 3 months, I wasn't counting calories. I think if I had to guess, I was anywhere between 1,800, around that, 16 to 1,800, I think is fair to say, because those calories, they add up quick. And it was all really good stuff, but when I don't watch it super carefully, I always end up around that 1,600, 1,800 calorie range, especially because I work out so much, so I'm typically pretty hungry. But once I started really buckling down, the number that I like, or the range I like to give myself, and like I said, it's different for everybody. I am not a doctor or a nutritionist or anything like that, but this is what works for me. And over the years, I know that this is a good, solid number that I'm able to work with and that my body really responds to. So I give myself a range of 1,200 to 1,400 calories. And there were some days I went over that, not very often, just kind of like stayed in that range. And with continued working out, eating really clean, I don't eat a lot of dairy. I did while I was pregnant, for obvious reasons. I needed that calcium, but went back to no dairy because I feel better. My body feels better when I cut that out. So I went back to kind of all my old normal, like kind of regime things and stayed within that 1,200 to 1,400 calories. And by doing that, I was able to really slowly but surely start to chip away at this weight that I had gained. And in total, by about 9 months post having Harper, was when I hit my pre-pregnancy weight. So I've been at my pre-pregnancy weight now for a couple months. Now, of course, do I have some vanity weight I'd like to lose? Who doesn't? But I think my biggest tip is, again, being very consistent, but understanding also that your body may not this time around, because you have completely changed your entire body by having this baby, that your body may not react to the things that you were doing before. So be willing to be flexible. Give yourself a little bit of a range. Maybe you need a little more calories this time. Maybe you need a little bit less. But just be willing to be flexible in all ways. You know what I mean? If you're like, well, I always work out in the morning. Well, maybe your child is going to get up really early and go to bed early. And so you might have to become an evening, worker outer. So just be willing to be flexible. I think that's another thing, because, it's just a lot of new things going on. Let's see. I did not breastfeed Harper. A lot of people ask me about breastfeeding and weight loss. I wanted to. There were like a couple of reasons why I wasn't able to. The first being he was in the NICU for 5 days with a feeding tube. So I wasn't able to nurse for 5 days. So I was really trying to pump and everything like that. And, also once babies taste that formula, it's real hard to get him to want to try to work really hard to nurse. And I think the stress of him being in the NICU, I just had a really hard time, and my milk didn't fully come in. So I just decided about 4 weeks after he was born, he got the colostrum and some things like that. It just wasn't happening, and he was not into it. So, it wasn't a part of my plan, but that was a part of the plan. So I didn't have to deal with breastfeeding. Now, I know with breastfeeding moms, you're a lot more hungry and you need more calories to maintain your milk supply. I in no way want to give you a number like, oh, breastfeeding moms, you should eat this many calories. That really and truly is a number you really need to come up with your OB. Like they really, really, really know your body as well as know kind of what you're going to need. So I would encourage you to talk to your OB to get just a roundabout number of where you should stay. But your nutrition, and especially for nursing moms, your hydration is so important. You should be doubling the amount of water that you would normally drink, just to really keep your body hydrated. And the one nice thing about breastfeeding is, yes, you are more hungry, but your body is burning I've read it could burn an additional 300-400 extra calories a day, which is amazing. I would love that. So that's kind of my story with breastfeeding. So I didn't breastfeed. So I didn't get the extra help with the calorie burn, but I also didn't have to worry so much about, restricting calories and things like that, because I wasn't concerned with a milk supply. Remember, your body may not ever be exactly like it was, and that's okay. that doesn't mean you can't now make the very, very best version of what you have now. And that's kind of what I'm striving for right now. My body, is probably never going to look exactly like it did the day I stepped off the Biggest Loser Ranch. But I've had a baby and my body has changed a little and softened a little. And I'm going to work my hardest to really make this new body that I have, this mom body, the absolute best I possibly can. And that's exciting to me, actually, because I find it very, very encouraging when people look at me and they say, oh my gosh, is he your son? Wow, you look amazing, And I think, yeah, I do look amazing. I worked really, really hard. So I hope some of this encourages you to know that it is a journey like anything else. Be patient with yourself. Your body has been an incredible instrument and has given you so much. So give it a break, whisper nice things to it. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, we're going to get there, because you will. So, all right, let's do some question and answer. All right, so I thought I would answer some of your questions. So I posted on Instagram a picture of my one just from the other day. I just stood in front of my mirror and did a little postpartum picture, which maybe we'll just insert right here so you can see if you don't follow me on Instagram, which you should. All that information is down the down bar. Anyways, so why don't we answer some questions? So a lot of people left me some amazing questions in the comments. So let's do that. Okay, so the first question, this one I get a lot, and I think it's a great one. So now I don't know what your name is, but her Instagram name is KLSB. So hi, thanks for your question. She says, do stretch marks ever go away? I see them as battle scars and proof that my body carried 2 babies, but when people post pics, do they Photoshop them out, or is there a secret? So this is the thing about stretch marks, and to just kind of do a really quick explanation of what they are, stretch marks are basically like if you took a rubber band and you pulled it as tight and as far as you could until it finally got to a point where when you let it go, it just wouldn't quite go all the way back and it's just kind of lost all of its elasticity. That's exactly what happens in your skin when a stretch mark. The skin gets pulled so tight that it separates a little bit and it doesn't quite go back together when it snaps back. So the thing about stretch marks is they fade, they become lighter as time goes on, but they never quite go away. Some people don't get stretch marks when they're pregnant. I mean, some people just have wonder skin. I, on the other hand, funny enough, I got one stretch mark, when I was pregnant, and it was right around my belly button because my poor little belly button was just stretched to kingdom come. But I have lots and lots of stretch marks on my abdomen from when I was overweight. So before I went on Biggest Loser. So that's just kind of part of it. And I feel the same way as you do. I feel they're like battle scars and kind of like my medals of honor of being a mom. I think it's really cool. So I wear mine very proudly. Do I wish I didn't have them? Sure. I think anybody who has them probably isn't oh, if I couldn't trade them in for a magic cream, I wouldn't. I think maybe we would. But anyway, so they don't quite go away, but I do think a lot of people Photoshop or blur, use filters, things like that. So wear yours proudly. Thanks for the compliment. That was awesome. Hi to all my Facebook friends. There's always links down below if you ever want to come join the party at any of my social media platforms. By the way, I'm loving Snapchat. Harper loves Snapchat. I snap all day, every day. So if you don't get your Harper fix on Instagram, you can come follow me on Snapchat. Anyways, let's see. Okay. Rebecca Stotts, I believe is your name. She said, the thing I struggled with the first year was mommy guilt. The first few months, I just wanted to cuddle him close, and then I wanted to be down playing with him. If I can't get a workout in while he's asleep, I just don't. I call playtime a workout, and now with a 4-year-old, let me tell you, it's a workout. I believe you with that baby and a 4-year-old. Whoo, I know you are working out, mama. I think mommy guilt is a real thing, and I think it's definitely something that is also self-imposed. So I've really fought that because I don't ever want to live my life with any kind of guilt whatsoever. And even though I waited so long for Harper, 18 years to be exact, I waited so long for him that I I want to be the very best I can for him. And I think I have said this a couple times already. And so to combat those moments of guilt where I'm having to leave him with somebody else, remember you have someone else hopefully in the picture, whether it's, your husband or partner, whatever, that they need one-on-one time with the baby as well. And so I had to really remember it is really good for me to go do these things on my own. Just one little portion of my day that I carve out for me where I can really concentrate on me and really concentrating on my health and my body. And allowing Ben to have one-on-one time with Harper is huge. I trust him with him. Immensely. And a lot of that is because they've really, over the last year, had lots of one-on-one times where they've been able to really kind of develop their relationship as well. And that, role that Ben is very active in Harper's, not just his, being his father, but his actual rearing and his being raised. So mommy guilt, try to put that to the side if you can. Remember, everybody wants to support you and love you. So try not to put too much guilt on. And if you can't get a workout while they're asleep, maybe when your husband comes home, you can let him chase after the 4-year-old and hold the baby while you run outside and do some exercise. So thank you guys for all those amazing questions. If you'd like me to do a part 2 and answer some more questions, or if you have additional questions, please feel free to go, like I said, to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm around everywhere. All of my social media information is in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, that we are going on a cruise. That's right, a fitness cruise. Me, Hannah, and Courtney Crozier from season 11 of Biggest Loser, we are doing a fitness cruise. It's going to be amazing. Signups are going on right now. $50 is the deposit that you need to secure your spot. And then, November 2017, we are going on a cruise. So if you haven't signed up yet, there are limited spots. We still have some openings left. Get on that. What you waiting for? Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. It helps us so much know the things that you like and want to see. And as always, leave us some love in the comments, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.